Some secrets are so dark, they don't just destroy relationships, they destroy people. What if I told you that one leaked video was powerful enough to shatter trust, break a woman emotionally, and turn friends into enemies overnight? Late at night, while the world was asleep, a secret pregnancy tape surfaced online, and attached to it was one name that would flip everything upside down: Mendeecees. People think gossip is entertainment. But no one talks about what happens when a woman sees her entire life collapsing on her phone screen, piece by piece, rumor by rumor, comment by comment. Insiders say Yandy didn't scream at first. She froze. She stayed. And then she broke. Because this wasn't just about betrayal, it was about humiliation. Public humiliation. And just when she thought it couldn't hurt more, another name entered the storm: Tamar Braxton. Suddenly, whispers turned into accusations. Accusations turned into rage. And rage turned into an emotional explosion the internet was not ready for. Was this a setup? A cruel plan? Or the most heartbreaking exposure of Yandy's life? Tonight's story isn't just messy. It's painful. It's raw. And by the end of this video, you might ask yourself one terrifying question. How far can betrayal push someone before they completely lose control? It all started on what seemed like an ordinary morning, but little did the world know, chaos was about to erupt. A secret, hidden deep within the shadows of celebrity life, had suddenly surfaced, shaking the foundation of friendships, trust, and loyalty. A tape, yes, a private, highly confidential tape, had leaked. Not just any tape, but one tied to the personal life of Mendeecees Harris, a name that has always carried whispers of drama and intrigue in the entertainment world. And now, it wasn't just whispers anymore. The video was circulating like wildfire, spreading faster than anyone could imagine. Social media was ablaze. Fans, critics, and trolls alike were diving into the story, sharing screenshots, speculation, and explosive claims. The rumors weren't just rumors anymore, they had transformed into an uncontrollable storm. And then came the name that nobody expected to hear at the center of this chaos: Tamar Braxton. The world collectively gasped. Tamar, a superstar known for her talent, charisma, and presence on television, was suddenly being dragged into a scandal she hadn't even seen coming. How could a private matter involving someone else spiral into her reality? That was the question everyone was asking, but there were no answers. Just the deafening roar of the internet, fueling a fire that seemed impossible to extinguish. Fans took sides immediately, some shocked, some enraged, some desperately defending their favorite celebrities. And amid all of this, Yandy, the ever-fiery, passionate, and unapologetic personality, could feel the tension gnawing at her, the anger bubbling beneath the surface. The betrayal Yandy felt wasn't just about the leak, it was personal. The tape had surfaced at a time when emotions were raw, relationships were fragile, and trust was already fragile. She saw the leak as a calculated move, a deliberate attempt to humiliate, manipulate, and shame. Her mind raced as she tried to process what had happened. Who could do this? Who would dare to weaponize someone's most private moments in such a ruthless, public way? And when Tamar's name appeared in the mix, it was like gasoline on fire. Yandy's anger wasn't just explosive, it was volcanic. Every ounce of frustration, every pang of betrayal, every moment of hurt that had been building over the years seemed to converge in that one shocking instant. The visuals of that day are etched in memory for those who witnessed them unfold online. Clips emerged of Yandy confronting the situation, her face a perfect mirror of raw, unfiltered emotion. Her voice shook, not with weakness, but with intensity, each word dripping with hurt, anger, and disbelief. How could you let this happen? How could this be allowed to go public? She seemed to scream to the universe, her questions unanswered, echoing through the feeds of millions watching. And as fans watched, they weren't just seeing drama, they were witnessing vulnerability. They could feel the pulse of betrayal, the sting of injustice, the heaviness of emotional pain, as if it were their own heart being squeezed in that moment. And yet, this was just the beginning. The story had barely opened its first chapter. The leak wasn't an isolated incident, it was part of a larger narrative that had been quietly brewing behind the scenes. A narrative filled with jealousy, hidden agendas, and silent battles for power and recognition. Tamar Braxton, though innocent in the initial leak, found herself thrust into a maelstrom of speculation, assumptions, and accusations. And in the middle of it all, Yandy's reaction became a lightning rod for the world's attention. Social media erupted with reactions ranging from shock to support, hatred to sympathy, as fans debated endlessly over who was right, who was wrong, and who was truly behind the leak. Every comment, every post, every emoji shared online added fuel to the fire, turning a private betrayal into a viral spectacle. But beyond the tweets, beyond the hashtags, beyond the viral clips and endless comments, there was a deeper, almost tragic undercurrent. These were real people, real emotions, and real pain. Yandy wasn't just acting out for the camera, she was expressing a grief that many had never seen before. The grief of trust broken, the grief of private moments exposed, the grief of feeling powerless while the world judged and whispered. And Tamar, caught in the crossfire, was dealing with her own whirlwind of emotions, confusion, hurt, and an overwhelming sense of being misunderstood. Their lives, already public and scrutinized, now seemed even more fragile, more human, more raw. And in that rawness lay the drama, the tension, the kind of story that makes viewers unable to look away. This wasn't gossip for the sake of gossip. This was a human story of betrayal, fury, and heartbreak. And as the world watched, millions of hearts collectively ached, tears threatening to fall, breaths catching in horror at the emotional intensity that had erupted from a single, leaked tape. The stage was set. The players were in motion. And what happened next would not only change the trajectory of their relationships but would also ignite one of the most talked about, heart-wrenching, and viral celebrity scandals of recent times. As the hours turned into days, the situation only intensified. What started as a shocking leak had now evolved into a full-blown public spectacle, leaving everyone watching in disbelief. Yandy, unable to contain her fury, began to speak out, her words cutting, raw, and unfiltered, each sentence dripping with the weight of betrayal. She questioned motives, she exposed suspicions, and she didn't hold back in placing the blame squarely where she believed it belonged. This wasn't an accident, she claimed, her voice trembling with a mix of rage and heartbreak. Someone wanted this to happen. Someone wanted to ruin us, to humiliate us, and to make sure that everyone watched it unfold like a show. The world listened. Millions of fans hung on to her every word, some nodding in agreement, others recoiling at the audacity of the accusations. Tamar Braxton, caught in the eye of the storm, remained silent publicly at first. But behind the camera, she was far from composed. Reports surfaced of her late-night phone calls, pacing in her home, tears streaking her face as she struggled to make sense of the chaos. Friends and insiders revealed that she felt blindsided, her reputation being questioned for something she had no part in orchestrating. The tension between Yandy and Tamar reached a boiling point, not through private confrontations, but in the digital arena, in tweets, Instagram stories, and viral clips that dissected every word, every reaction, every expression. Every post seemed to fan the flames, as though social media itself was hungry for the drama, feeding off their emotional energy and turning private anguish into a public spectacle. The clashing narratives only made matters worse. On one side, Yandy painted herself as the wronged, the betrayed, the one left to pick up the pieces of her shattered trust. On the other, Tamar was depicted as an unwitting participant, a name dragged into a scandal she never asked for, her every action now scrutinized and debated. Fans didn't just watch, they chose sides. Supporters of Yandy flooded the internet with messages defending her, calling out Tamar for complicity, while Tamar's fans vehemently defended her, accusing Yandy of overreacting or misinterpreting events. The debate wasn't just fiery, it was a battleground, with hashtags, viral videos, and memes escalating the emotional intensity to unprecedented levels. The situation was further complicated by Mendeecees' position, the man at the center of the leaked tape. His silence, or perhaps his attempts at discretion, were interpreted by some as guilt, by others as strategic calm. Every appearance, every statement, every subtle social media post was dissected and analyzed, fueling speculation and rumors. It seemed as though the entire internet had become a jury, deliberating on motives, intentions, and hidden truths. But beneath the chaos and the clickbait headlines, there was a human story unfolding, a story of heartbreak, anger, and emotional devastation. Yandy's confrontation with Tamar wasn't just verbal, it became emotional warfare. In videos that went viral almost instantly, Yandy's eyes burned with tears and fury, her gestures sharp, her voice echoing with pain. She recounted moments of trust broken, moments of vulnerability shared in confidence that were now exploited publicly. Tamar, meanwhile, was forced into the impossible position of defending herself while trying to navigate the storm of accusations that weren't entirely hers. Their interactions, fragmented across social media platforms, were like watching a slow-motion collision, explosive, inevitable, and impossible to look away from. The emotional intensity was compounded by the constant commentary of fans, influencers, and gossip channels. Every minor gesture, every carefully worded post, every cryptic tweet was blown up into evidence, analyzed for hidden meanings, and shared across millions of screens. The emotional stakes were high, and the human element was undeniable. People weren't just watching celebrities squabble, they were witnessing grief, heartbreak, and betrayal laid bare in real time. Some fans reported crying while watching clips, feeling the pain of trust lost, the shock of humiliation, the rage of betrayal as if it were their own story unfolding. It was raw, it was human, and it was utterly viral. Then came the whispers of behind-the-scenes drama that no one could ignore. Sources hinted at secret meetings, private confrontations, and heated arguments that had gone unrecorded but whose effects were rippling through their relationships. Questions arose. Was there someone else orchestrating the leak? Was this a carefully planned attack meant to divide and conquer, or was it simply a devastating accident that spiraled out of control? The ambiguity created tension that no one could resolve. Every statement seemed to contradict another, every denial seemed like confirmation, and every silence felt like a confession. By the end of this phase, the story had grown far beyond a simple leak. It had become a test of loyalty, an exposure of hidden emotions, and a battlefield where public perception clashed violently with private reality. Yandy's anger, Tamar's shock, and Mendeecees' silence combined to create a narrative that was as mesmerizing as it was heartbreaking. Fans couldn't stop talking. The media couldn't stop posting. And the celebrities themselves were trapped in a whirlwind of emotions and public scrutiny, with no end in sight. This was more than gossip. It was raw, unfiltered human drama, amplified to viral levels. It was betrayal and heartbreak, anger and confusion, all packaged into moments that could be replayed endlessly online. And as the storm raged on, the world watched, unable to look away, hearts racing, eyes watering, and emotions stretched to the breaking point. Just when everyone thought the storm couldn't grow any darker, the plot twisted in ways that no one could have predicted. A new piece of footage surfaced, grainy, yet undeniable, circulating across social media with the velocity of wildfire. The video showed interactions that added fuel to an already raging fire, hinting at a deeper betrayal than anyone had imagined. Whispers of secret meetings, hidden messages, and undisclosed motives exploded into full-blown speculation. Fans watched in disbelief as the drama evolved beyond the original leak, a narrative now layered with deception, manipulation, and heartbreak. The emotional stakes had never been higher. Yandy's fury, which had already been palpable, now seemed almost uncontainable. She wasn't just reacting to a single betrayal anymore, she was confronting a web of secrets that had slowly been unraveling, threatening to expose every vulnerability she had tried to protect. Tamar Braxton, meanwhile, found herself navigating a labyrinth of accusations and clarifications. Every public statement she made was dissected online, every facial expression during interviews became proof of guilt or innocence, and every silence was treated as an admission of complicity. But what made this phase truly explosive was how the leak began to implicate others in the entertainment circle. Suddenly, a story that had seemed confined to Yandy, Tamar, and Mendeecees expanded into a narrative filled with hidden alliances, covert plans, and personal vendettas. People started questioning loyalties, who was truly on whose side, and who had orchestrated the leak for maximum damage. The uncertainty fueled the drama, turning simple gossip into an emotionally charged spectacle that captivated the internet. The emotional intensity reached its peak when Yandy, visibly shaking with rage and heartbreak, addressed the situation in an Instagram live that quickly went viral. Her words were raw, her voice a mixture of fury and despair. "I trusted people. I opened my heart. And for what? To be humiliated in front of the entire world," she demanded, her eyes glistening with tears. Viewers across the globe were captivated, their emotions mirroring hers. Some cried for her, some screamed in anger at the betrayal, and others simply sat in stunned silence, unable to process the sheer volume of emotion and drama unfolding before them. Yandy wasn't just a celebrity, she had become the embodiment of heartbreak and fury, a human figure grappling with pain so intense that it transcended the digital screen. Then came a revelation that shocked everyone. A private message, allegedly from a close insider, leaked to the public, suggesting that the original leak wasn't accidental. It was a deliberate move designed to provoke chaos, pit friends against each other, and amplify personal drama for public consumption. The idea that someone had carefully orchestrated this betrayal pushed fans into a frenzy. Comments poured in, theories multiplied, and speculation reached a fever pitch. Suddenly, the narrative wasn't just about Yandy or Tamar, it was about trust, manipulation, and the dark side of celebrity culture. Tamar's response to these new developments was equally dramatic. In a series of heartfelt posts, she shared her confusion, heartbreak, and vulnerability. "I never wanted to be part of this," she wrote. "I never asked for my name to be dragged into this mess. But here I am, trying to protect myself and my peace, while the world watches every move I make." Her words resonated with millions, humanizing her in the midst of scandal and reminding everyone that behind the headlines were real people, with real feelings, suffering under the weight of public scrutiny. Fans debated endlessly, was she genuinely innocent, or had she played a role in the chaos? The ambiguity created tension that was impossible to resolve, leaving viewers glued to every update, waiting for the next twist. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' silence began to speak volumes. Every statement, or lack thereof, was analyzed, dissected, and scrutinized. Fans speculated endlessly, was he hiding something, or was he simply choosing discretion over drama? The uncertainty added another layer to an already volatile situation, and the emotional impact of the leak continued to reverberate. Every day brought new revelations, new reactions, and new heartbreak. Relationships were strained, friendships tested, and alliances questioned. The drama didn't stop at just personal confrontations. Media outlets, gossip channels, and fan accounts amplified the story at every turn, creating viral-level frenzy. Every clip, every post, every leaked detail was consumed with an intensity rarely seen in celebrity gossip. Fans cried, shouted, and debated online, their emotions heightened by the raw, unfiltered storytelling that surrounded every development. The leak had become more than just content. It was a global spectacle of human emotion, heartbreak, and betrayal. And as the world watched, the tension reached an unbearable level. The narrative had become a ticking time bomb, with each revelation more shocking than the last. Yandy's anger, Tamar's vulnerability, and Mendeecees' silence created a triangle of suspense and emotional intensity that left everyone on edge. No one could predict what would happen next, and that uncertainty made the story impossible to ignore. Every heart was racing, every eye glued to the screen, every emotion pulled taut like a wire ready to snap. By the end of this chapter, the story had transformed. What began as a simple leaked tape had escalated into an emotionally charged, viral-level scandal, filled with betrayal, heartbreak, and raw human emotion. Fans were left in tears, stunned, and emotionally exhausted, desperate for answers that didn't come. And just when it seemed the storm couldn't get any bigger, whispers of a new revelation began to circulate, a secret that promised to shatter trust, redefine alliances, and leave the world asking, who can truly be trusted in this web of lies and heartbreak? The stage was set for the final explosive chapter, a moment that would push this saga to the edge of viral fame, leaving hearts broken, loyalties questioned, and emotions running higher than ever before. Now, after everything you've just witnessed, the real question remains, what do you think is actually happening behind the scenes? Was this leak a tragic accident, or a calculated move designed to destroy trust and ignite chaos? Could Tamar have been unknowingly dragged into a scheme she never asked for, or is there more to her story than meets the eye? And Yandy, her fury, her heartbreak, her raw emotions, do you feel her pain, or do you think she overreacted in the heat of the moment? We've seen the tears, the anger, the viral videos, and the explosive confrontations. We've felt the heartbreak, the betrayal, and the intensity that has gripped millions of hearts around the world. But the truth is still out there, hidden in whispers, secrets, and unspoken motives. And that's where you come in. Yes, you. The drama isn't just on the screen, it lives in the conversation we have right now. Your opinion matters. Were these celebrities victims of a meticulously planned scandal, Or is there more complexity beneath the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your perspective, your theories, and even your emotional reactions. Did your heart break watching this unfold? Did you feel the rage, the betrayal, the despair? Share your feelings, tag your friends, and let's get the conversation started. Hit that like button if you want us to dive even deeper into the drama, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on every shocking revelation, twist, and viral moment. This story is far from over, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned, because the next chapter promises even more heartbreak, explosive drama, and jaw-dropping revelations. Your voice, your opinion, and your emotions are part of this saga, so speak up, get involved, and let's uncover the truth together.